So today's video is going to be picking my May TBR. I cannot believe, again, it is the end of May. Not the end of May, the end of April. We have 4 days left in April, and I'm already picking my May TBR. Like, that's insane. So for this TBR, we are going to be bringing back the TBR envelope. So I put all the prompts into the TBR envelopes because I haven't used them in like a couple months, so I thought it'd be fun to bring them back. We also have quite a few new additions to my TBR on the cart because I went to a Long Island authors event and bought some books to support Long Island authors. I also went to 4 indie bookstores for Indie Bookstore Weekend for National Indie Bookstore Day, and I bought quite a few books at all 4 locations. The first one I went to on Friday night, which wasn't officially Indie Bookstore Day, and then Saturday was National Indie Bookstore Day. How many times can I say that? And then I bought 4 more books that day. And then I bought 4 at the authors event, and then my friend gave me a gift card to Barnes & Noble, and I bought another 3 books there. So I think I got another like 13, 14 physical books on the TBR. So I'm a little bit overwhelmed with my physical TBR, but at the same time, I know I can get it down. Just May has 5 gajillion new releases coming out. So we are going to try and fit new releases or just books on the TBR cart for the prompts. I think I might only pick 6, but we might do more because for the last like week or so, I've been doing like a mood read TBR, because regardless if I'm doing a mood read, these books are still on my actual TBR. Just because they're not on my TBR for the month doesn't mean that they're still not books that I want to read. So, and I've just been having more fun doing that, and honestly, mood reading kind of just takes the pressure off of like feeling like you have to complete your TBR, because the only person that you're going to judge is yourself if you don't finish your TBR. And that's okay. You know, like I need to give myself a little bit more grace. I've read basically 85 books this year already. So I'm doing really well. So without further ado, let's get into it. I just wanted to say that I do have a book club pick for May, because we did read King of Ashes for March, and then we read The Mad Way for April, and now our book club pick for May is Best Offer Wins by Marissa Cashino. So no matter what, this is going to be on the TBR, so we're already going to be reading this book, and all the other new releases, and then basically the rest of the books, hopefully. And I do have a buddy read with someone that I met on Instagram like a couple months ago. I actually met him through Goodreads, and then I added him on Instagram, and we are going to be starting to buddy read a series that's on this cart, if you can guess which one it is. But let's go ahead and get to it. But I did complete most of my April TBR. I got to the books that I really wanted to read in April, and I still stuck to my 3 to 4 books that I read a month for my TBR takedown. So I'm feeling really good about the books that I've read. So let's go ahead and spin the wheel. So we put it 1 through 20 this time because we have 20 envelopes, not 23. And we're going to go ahead and pick the first envelope. So let's go ahead and spin the wheel. So the first number we got, I believe, is 2. 1. Okay, 1. Let's start with number 1. I mean, it's the first envelope. We might as well start with it, right? Okay. Let's see which prompt I'm going to pick. Let's pick this one. I have no idea what prompts are in here. I put 3 prompts in each envelope, by the way. Okay, trilogy. I do know what I want to pick for this one. And I just said I was going to buddy read this. I'm not going to read the whole trilogy in May, but I'm going to be starting the first book in May and then finishing the trilogy off the first week of June. So we're going to pick Red Rising. Oh my god, if I can get it out of here. I have so many books on this damn cart. I don't want to ruin my nails in the process. Okay, so the first book is going to be Red Rising by Pierce Brown, because I have been putting off this series probably for 2 years at this point. The books have been on my Goodreads TBR for a good 2 years. And I own the first 3 books. I own Red Rising, Golden Sun, and Morning Star. It is time. Most people just recommend to read the first arc and then like wait to read the second arc when he finally announces when he's going to come out with Red God. And honestly, I've seen like his responses to people online on Instagram, and I understand, like, you know, if at least they're finishing the series, you know, it's not like J.R.R. Tolkien. But anyway, and he said, sorry, I'm getting on a tangent already. He said that, you know, I don't want to rush something that I'm trying to perfect. And he's right, you know, like, and also fans have only been waiting like 2 years. We've been waiting for a ACOTAR book for almost 5 years, okay? Like, relax, okay? At least you're not waiting 5 years. So, and also, again, I do not want to rush these authors for delaying books because at least they are finishing the series or they're giving us more books. Like, I would just be mad at J.R.R. Tolkien at this point because I'm never going to read that series because if it's an unfinished series, why the hell would I bother? And also, like, it sounds like something I don't want to read. But anyway, I'm going to be buddy reading this with Mike Bookstagram from Instagram and Goodreads. He's been pushing me to start this series and he really wants to reread it. He's read the entire series, but I haven't. So I am terrified that this is going to literally destroy me, but I need to get on my series game this year. I really haven't read any other series this year besides Red Queen. I also didn't end up reading Fireborn yet again in April, so, but it's just because I really want to read this series. So this is going to be the first book on the TBR, and this one I found at my indie bookstore like 2 years ago for $6. And I think the other two I found for a pretty good price as well. So that's going to be the first one that's on the TBR. I'm just going to put it slanted because it's going to fall if I try to stand it up properly. Okay, let's go ahead and pick the next one. Why the hell is there an ad? I hate the ads on this freaking website. All right, let's go ahead and spin for the next number. Okay, don't tell me we're getting 2. Are you serious? I'm going to spin again. I'm not doing that. I'm not getting 2 of this. We need something a little different. Don't tell me we're getting 2 again. I think I'm going to refresh it because that's ridiculous. All right, let's refresh the wheel. All right, there we go. Let's go ahead and spin again because sometimes it gets stuck on the same number. Okay, so I think we got 12 or 11. Okay, 12. I'll go with that. So we have 12. Did I put 1 back? Yeah, let's take that away. So number 12. Again, have no idea what's in here. Let's go ahead and pick, I don't know. I try not to pick the first one I touch. I try to mix it up a little bit. Let's pick this pink one. Okay. Bookish Vibes. I didn't use this for another TBR. The one I'm reading right now technically has really good bookish vibes, but let me see. And when I say this, it's like, you know, it's like about like an author or like someone that loves to read a lot in the books or has books on the cover, but I just read How to Write a Love Story and that was like literally books on the cover. That's like something that I can, you know, kind of picture like reading in a cafe. But I also have like coffee house vibes in here. But honestly, I don't know if any of these are giving bookish vibes right now because bookish vibes I kind of like associate more so with like fall. So I'm going to pick a different prompt in the envelope. I'm just going to pick the next one that I think I touched. Okay. I got witches. I do have one that would fit this prompt really well. Also, I've been really in the mood to read The Honey Witch lately. I could just read this and swap this with one of the books in my TBR takedown video and finally just get it off my TBR. Because I'm kind of in the mood to read that rather than a different one that I picked for a TBR elimination video. and I could just read this one instead. Because Lily, it has witch in the title. I don't know if any of these have witches in them, but I don't want to pick another prompt again. Hold on, let me see. Let me just check my TBR. So none of the books that I put on my TBR tentatively have witches in it, but I decided to pick the third prompt out of the envelope. And honestly, I could fit this one with a couple of books. I could have honestly fit it with Red Rising, but it's everyone has read except me. But I have one that a lot of people have read and I haven't yet, and Mike Bookstagram actually really wants me to read this one too. So the fact I'm picking 2 sci-fi books and both books that he wanted me to read lately is really funny. But this one is also in my TBR elimination video, and that is Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. I mean, let me not say it is in my elimination video. Hold on. Yeah, so anyway, I want to pick this one because this one is a very popular book, and I really want to watch the show, so I really want to read the book first. And Mike was just talking to me about that I need to add more sci-fi to my TBR, so here I am adding Red Rising and Dark Matter, so that actually makes me really happy. Okay, so we have the first 2 books. So we have 2 physical books, which is great. Okay, let's go ahead and spin for the third one. Sorry if that was cheating, but also I was taking it out of the same envelope, so that's not really cheating. Okay, let's go ahead and pick the next number. Okay, hopefully it's not like 14 or some shit. Okay, we got 8. I can work with that. I love how, like, I approve what the numbers are. Okay, so we have 8. And let's go ahead and see which one I'm going to pick in here. I love how I look up when it's like, it's not like I can actually see what the hell is in here. So let's just go ahead and pick this one. A series. No. Oh, actually, I do have a series that I'm going to read. So, yay. We're actually getting physical books off my TBR. So I am going to do this duology. It is a series. So we have Daughter of the Moon Goddess and Heart of the Sun Warrior by Su Lin Tan. I'm going to be putting this on my TBR takedown for Daughter of the Moon Goddess. I decided I wanted to read this duology rather than like pressuring myself to read like a big series. And this duology has been on my TBR for quite a while as well. And I feel like if I bang out some duologies, I'll feel like a little less pressured to read like bigger series like later this year, and also like series that have just been on my TBR for a long time. It makes sense in my head, and also like I really do want to read this in the spring, and I don't want to have yet another spring go by where I don't read this. And one of my book besties from Silent Book Club was pushing me to read this, so you know what, I'm going to listen to her. And we are going to put that on the TBR as my series prompt. So yay! I think that Red Queen or possibly Fireborn was my series for that prompt, and I didn't end up fulfilling it. Or I don't remember what the prompt was for Fireborn. It might have been like book I've been putting off or something, or series I've been putting off, something like that. But okay. Why is this driving me nuts? These ads are driving me crazy. All right, let's go ahead and spin for the next number. I think I'm going to do, like I said, I think I'm going to do 6 numbers. Okay, please don't tell me that's 7. Okay, it looks like it's 4. Okay, can we get like a higher number though? I think we've only picked 1 from the other stack. Okay, so we got 4. Let's go ahead and pick which one. Gonna pick the first one I touched, even though I just said I didn't want to do that, but hey, why not? This one says Goodreads poll pick. That one takes forever, so let's just go ahead and pick. I might get rid of that one just because like I haven't done a Goodreads poll pick in a while. Okay, didn't I just do this one? Author everybody loves. I might be able to find one for this. I mean, again, Pierce Brown would have been a great one. Again, I don't really have much of any that would fit this prompt. I mean, I do have like one or two that is on my TBR card, but like not on my TBR for the month, like Jodi Picoult or Khaled Hosseini. Probably really butchering that name. Let's pick a different one. Let's just pick the last one in here. Whatever, who cares? It's my freaking TBR. Nobody watches my videos anyway. Who gives a shit? Okay. This one says, leaves on the cover. These were like part of my fall TBR prompts that I put in the jar that I never really took out. I think I have one. I mean, technically this has a bunch of leaves on the cover, but it's more like flower petals. I'm not really sure what kind of flowers are on here. This one does have plants on the cover. We could stretch it and say there's plants on the cover. Let me see if this one has leaves on the cover. I'm feeling like a romance. This has all flowers on the cover and flower petals. We do have leaves on top, so I think we're going to pick this one because I think this is the only one that's like closest to having leaves on the cover. I mean, some of the other new releases do, but I wanted to get like physical books that I already have on my TBR for the TBR prompts. So either One and Only or the Paris Match. I feel like the Paris Match has more because of just literally that tree up top. I'm not really sure what kind of like flowers these are. Let's go ahead and look it up. Does One and Only have, oh my god, can I type leaves on the cover? I don't really know like what they are. One and Only flowers on cover. Alright, you know what? We're picking this one. I can't be bothered to find it, so we're just going to do The Paris Match by Kate Claiborne. I think that's a good one for leaves on the cover, and these are just books that I'm just really in the mood to read. And I'm going to read both of these regardless in May, so this one is going on the TBR. Wow, we got quite a bit of physical books on the TBR already. That's good. Yay me! Okay, and then let's go ahead and spin again. That's 4, so I guess we're doing 2 more. We'll see how this goes. Let me go ahead and put those other prompts back in this envelope because we already used 4. Okay, let's go ahead and spin for the next number. Please give me a bigger number. I think we got 1 again. No, we got 3. We're not doing 3. Let's spin again. Make my own rules, guys. Oh my god. I think we got 8 again. Let's see. Oh my god. We got 8 again. We are not doing this. Is so ridiculous. And it was still on 8. I'm waiting for it to spin a little bit because, like, that's ridiculous. Hold on a second. Okay, now let's go ahead and spin because it went back around to, like, the higher numbers. Don't tell me it's going to pick 1. I think it picked 20. All right. We're doing that. All right, let's pick 20. God forbid we have a bigger... It used to not be like that, where it would land on the same freaking number all the time. Okay, so we have over or super hyped. I mean, I might put a sequel on here. But also I do have one book that's really hyped right now that I might put on the TBR. Because I think we're going to read it possibly for next month for our book club as well, depending on, like, when everybody finishes best offer wins. I think I might put this one on my TBR as well. I was going to put the sequel to Direbound on my TBR as overhyped, because I think Direbound is overhyped, but I think it's more worth the hype than Shield of Sparrows, because I actually really like the book. I just didn't like the main character. But I really loved the story. I think I'm going to do... What did I just say? Oh, yeah. I didn't even say which one it is, but I think I know which one I'm going to pick. It's all the way back here. That's not it. That's not the right one. Sorry. Pause. I don't know where it is. Oh my god. Let's not wreck everything when I'm trying to grab the book that I'm talking about. Okay. That should be it. Yeah. Alright. Put this one back. Okay, so the book I'm going to pick for this one is Yesteryear by Caro Claire Burke. I might get this from Book of the Month, so I might return this one to Barnes because I'm waiting to see whether or not I get credits from Barnes in order to return like 2 books that are on this cart, possibly, because again, I have just way too many books right now, and I need to return the books that I'm really not thinking I'm going to be keeping, but I am going to be reading them soon, and it's just easier to buy and return them than waiting for this book from the library, because this one is like super popular. So we're going to do Yesteryear because this one is super hyped. It's not overhyped. I bet it's amazing. So we're going to be doing Yesteryear. Yay! So we got a lot of physical books. I'm proud of myself. Okay, so we're going to do one more. Hopefully it picks a different fucking number, because if it doesn't, I'm going to scream. Okay, let's go ahead and spin for the last number. I think we got 14. Did we already pick 14? No, we got 15. Okay, that is different. All right, so we have 15. Cool. Number 15. Let's go ahead and see what prompt I'm going to get. At least we picked the first prompt from that envelope. So this is the 6th prompt. That might be it. Okay, wizards. I never end up doing this prompt, and I really need to fulfill this prompt. But I don't know if any of these have wizards in them. I mean, I do have quite a bit of fantasy books in May, but I don't know if any of them have wizards. I think we're going to pick a different one. Don't hate me. And I only hate myself. How did I end up putting 4 prompts in here? Alright. That shouldn't have happened. Seasonal pick. I know exactly which one I'm going to pick for this one. Okay, so for seasonal pick, we're going with One and Only by Maureen Gu. I really want to read this in May. It just screams May to me with this cover. It just screams spring. So I'm really excited to read this book. So this one is going to be our seasonal pick. So that makes me really happy. Okay. So we picked some. This was actually pretty easy to pick the books for the prompts. I guess I'm getting better at this. Oh my god. So yeah, we picked all physical books from the prompts. So I don't think we really need to do any more unless I want to keep on going. I do need to pick one from my TBR, from my other jar. Well, actually, I put them in another mug. You want to do one more? I always do this to myself. We got 15. Let's do one more. Why not, for shits? And then we're going to, head over there so we can talk about the new releases. But I ended up not putting any new releases or using any new releases for this. So, I mean, some of these are relatively new anyway. So 3 out of these are new releases. Okay, let's go ahead and see what number we get. We got 15 again. Let's not get 15 again. Sorry, my leg is hurting. What number is that? 13. You know what? Let's just do a blind pick. Let's do a blind pick from this other stack. I don't know which one it's going to be. Yeah, let's do 18. Why not? This spinner wheel is kind of failing us. Okay. Let's go ahead and pick this one, I guess. Who cares? This one says, book that's going to be a movie. Yesteryear would have been perfect for that. Do I have any? I do have one that's going to be an adaptation. But it's going to be a show, not a movie, but it does technically count. I don't think any of these other ones are going to be movies. No, I don't think any of these are getting adaptations. So I could technically pick this one. Let's go ahead and pick another one. And if we can't fit... I think there's only 2 in here. Because I think that's when I started putting only 2 in the envelopes, right? Yeah. Let's see what the second one says. Oh my god, duology? Daughter of the Moon Goddess would have been perfect. What did I do Daughter of the Moon Goddess for? What was the prompt? I don't remember what the prompt was. I think it was a series. Let's make it the duology one. Why not? I could just make Red Rising the series prompt. That's already a trilogy, so I got the duology prompt for this. So I think we're going to do that. And then I think we're going to pick this book for book that's going to be a movie. Because I think this makes more sense. And again, it's my fucking rule, so who gives a fuck? And this I'm going to change to movie/TV series. Like, if we ever pick this prompt again, I'm going to change it to that. Because, like, I don't know why I didn't put, like, book that's becoming a TV series in here. But we're going to pick this one because technically this is the only other book on, I think, this entire cart that's getting an adaptation. I don't think any of the other books on this cart are getting a movie. Besides Yesteryear. But we already picked that. I don't think any of these are. I mean, Gone Girl has a movie. We all know that, but this one did get a movie deal, and The Woman in Cabin 10 does have a movie as well. And My Brilliant Friend has a show adaptation, and The Kite Runner obviously has a movie. But I'm saying, like, books that are becoming shows or movies. So the only one is our book club pick, and that is Best Offer Wins by Marissa Cascino. So we're going to pick this one. So that actually makes me really happy. And again, I'm going to change this to movie/TV series. So I think that we did really good with picking physical books off my TBR. That's 8 books that I really want to read this month. So yeah, now we're going to go through all the new releases. So brace yourself. Okay, guys, so I decided to sit back on my bed because your girl has just been relaxing today. So, let's go ahead and talk about them. Also, I just want to talk about what I'm going to be rereading as well, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But that's literally the only other book that I'm going to be adding on my TBR that I have currently, and then everything else is a new release. So I actually think I have 5 arcs on here too. So I'm going to be reading 5 arcs in May. One of them is actually, should I just talk about the arcs first? Let's talk about the 2 that I know that are coming out May 5th.
The other ones, I'm not really sure. I'm going to try and talk about them in order as much as possible, but let's just go ahead and start talking about them. So the first one, like I said, I did mention this one before, is the sequel to Dire Bound, and that is Fury Bound by Sable Sorensen. This one is coming out May 5th of 2026, and this is the follow-up to the highly anticipated, to the extremely viral Dire Bound. I really did like the first one. I'm hearing that this one is even better. I think I'm gonna like this one even more. So I'm actually excited for this one. I am curious to see what I think of that one. And then I'm not gonna read the synopsises for any of these. I'm just like, you can just Google them or look them up on Goodreads if you have Goodreads. Okay, and then next up is, I don't know why this one never comes up when I actually type it in. Let me just put in the author's name. All right, Caitlin. It just never comes up when I type in the author's name. And this one is also coming out on May 5th, and that is One Perfect Storm by Carly Fortune. I'm hearing that this one is not as good as One Golden Summer, and everyone and their mom freaking loved One Golden Summer, including myself. It was the only 6-star romance that I read last year, so I was very, very highly anticipating this release. So I think I'll like it, but honestly, all the other Carly Fortune books that I've read, I haven't really loved as much as One Golden Summer. So we'll see what I think. Again, I'm going into this blind because I'm not going to read the synopsises for these. And then I believe these two come out on the 12th. And this one I do have the arc for as well. But I did lose the NetGalley arc. I might just wait until this one officially comes out because I didn't really receive this one from the publisher. I just got this one on NetGalley because it was available for 24 hours. But I might just wait until the audiobook comes out for this and just read it when, like, right after my other book that comes out the 12th. And that is First and Forever by Lynn Painter. Like, I'm not really required to read the arcs, before they come out, but also, like, this one, since I didn't receive it from the publisher or from requesting it, I don't feel that pressured to read it before it comes out. I'm just going to read it like right after the other book that I'm reading on the 12th. But I'm very excited for this one. I think it sounds really well. I haven't even read the synopsis for this one. I will read the synopsis for this one because it's not really spoiling anything because it's a romance. It says, a football star and a diehard fan entangled in a PR stunt that only one side knows is fake might be the right play. Duffy DiStefano loves three things: her dad, the family cat, and Minneapolis Coyote. Oh my God, can I speak? Coyotes football. So when she gets booed out of a game and becomes the internet's villain, she is distraught and disgruntled. All she did was shove Coyote Carl away when he made a move on her, but everyone else just saw a woman attacking their team's beloved mascot. Eager to clear the air, Duffy agrees to an interview on a hit morning show. She doesn't expect a co-guest to join her, especially not the Coyotes' star tight end, when MVP Connor Cunningham gets tasked with damage control to help his team out of their PR nightmare. He thought that meant saying a few words on the team's behalf. Instead, he finds himself in a highly amusing verbal sparring match with a recently wronged fan on live TV. Oh my God, that sounds so fun. I'm not sure if this one's one of her adult romances or YA. I'm going to have to look that up later. But I think this will be, how many Lynn Painter books have I read at this point? I've read all of her YA romances: Fake Skating, Better Than the Movies, Nothing Like the Movies, Betting on You, and The Do-Over. And then I've read Made for Each Other and Happily Never After. So this will be my 8th book by Lynn Painter. So that's crazy. I do really like her books a lot. They're so much fun. Okay, I was looking at my list again to see which one comes out on May 12th. I don't know why I'm doing that because this is literally like my most anticipated read for the entire year, besides ACOTAR 6 and Fane Alchemy 3 later this year, and also the untitled Fourth Wing novella. But this one is my most anticipated read for the first half of 2026, and that is Broken Dove by Danny Francis. This one also comes out May 12th. I will be doing nothing but reading this book on May 12th, and actually, Silent Book Club is that night as well. And this is all I'm going to be reading, obviously. I'm going to go pick up my physical copy, probably. This is the only physical book that I'm going to be picking up in May, by the way. Why am I rhyming? The only other book that I'm going to be picking up doesn't come out until like the 28th, and I am reading the arc of that one, or like the 23rd or something. But I literally cannot wait for this. So I am going to be, my reread for May is going to be Silver Elite, which is the first book, and that one blew up on TikTok. I became absolutely obsessed with Silver Elite. So I'm so excited to reread it before this comes out. Hopefully I can start it next week. Because there are like two other audiobooks that I really want to read. One of them comes out tomorrow actually. Which is The Weekend Doesn't End Well for Anyone, which is the third book in the Vacation Mystery series. But I'm so excited for this. I literally cannot freaking wait. Hopefully I can get the audiobook and the ebook from the library, but oh my god, I'm so excited. I cannot wait for that. Okay, and then I don't know if any of these other ones come out on the 12th, but I'm just going to talk about the arcs that I have on my NetGalley app, because literally like there's like 5 on my NetGalley app that come out in May. So there's like 3 here at least, or 4. So this one, I think these two both come out May 19th. The first one is, do I have the cover pulled up for these? Whatever, I'll just show it like this. The first one is Dolly All the Time by Annabelle Monaghan. And I did receive the arc for this one. This one comes out May 26th. Oh, sorry. It comes out May 26th. See, I told you I was going to have some of these out of order. But actually, Annabelle Monaghan is going to be at one of my local bookstores in July signing copies of this book. But it's like 2 months after this book comes out, but I'm going to be reading it before it comes out, obviously. But I have read all of Annabelle Monaghan's books at this point, so this will be my 5th book by her. I did not like It's a Love Story, which was her last book that I read that I got the arc for last year. But I did get the arc for this one, and I'm kind of excited for this one. This one is about a single mom as well, but I wasn't going to read it unless I got the arc, because honestly, I didn't really like It's a Love Story, but also I really want to read it to meet her. Because I do still want to meet her, and I think I'm going to take my other 3 books for her to sign. I'm not sure if I'm going to pick up that one, but I probably will to support that bookstore. So I have that one, and then this one comes out May 19th, and this one I actually got the arc for last year for her last year's release, which was The Secret of Orange Blossom Cake by Rachel Linden. I got these both from the publishers, not even requesting them. I got them sent to me from to my email. But I did request both of them, but I ended up getting both of them in the same way. Because they end up doing like blog tours for these books. I actually didn't even post a blog about The Secret of Orange Blossom Cake because I wasn't really that excited about it, and I didn't really like it that much. That was actually my least favorite book by Rachel Linden as well. But this is going to be my 4th book by Rachel Linden, and that is A Sprinkle of Sweet Serendipity. I also have the arc for this, and this one comes out May 19th. So I am excited for this one. I'm hoping that this one is better than Secret of Orange Blossom Cake. I'm hoping, like, just because these are food themed books at this point, that they're not like, she's not like beating a dead horse where it becomes like more formulaic. But honestly, like, I just didn't really like the writing in The Secret of Orange Blossom Cake. I thought the other 2 were so much better written. I feel like this one and It's a Love Story were kind of just like thrown together, and I just didn't really like either of them. So I don't know, we'll see. And then the other arc that I have, this one's I'm probably the most excited for because I absolutely loved the first book, and that is the sequel to that's the second book, not the first one. I'm saying the second book's title, A Fate Forged in Fire by Hazel McBride, and that is A Queen Crowned in Flames. This one comes out May 26th. I actually interact with Hazel McBride quite a bit on Instagram. She's really good about answering her readers, and I actually messaged her saying that I got the arc for it. I don't remember if she liked my message, but she has messaged me back several times, and she's just so sweet. So I'm so excited to read this one. I absolutely love the first one, so this is probably my other most highly anticipated release in May. I tried to read it back in March, but for some reason I was feeling a little bit reading slumpy and I wasn't really feeling it at the time. But I'm really excited to read it now. And then the last arc that I have that comes out in May is my one and only and first audiobook arc. Um, and that is The Shippers by Catherine Center. This one comes out May 19th as well, and this will be, I believe, my seventh or eighth book by Catherine Center. I did also read her arc last year, which was The Love Haters. Um, so I've read Hello Stranger, How to Walk Away, Happiness for Beginners, Wish You Were Here, the rom-commers, the love haters, and now I think the shippers. So I think this is going to be my seventh book by her. I still haven't read Things You Saved in the Fire. I haven't really read her other books because, like, sometimes, like, I either love her books or don't really like them that much. But I liked The Love Haters. There were some things I had issues with, but I did like it. But again, the FMC was kind of dumb sometimes. But yeah, this one comes out May 19th, and so does um, A Sprinkle of Sweet Serendipity, and I think that's it. But I'm excited for them, and I'm really really excited that it's my first audiobook arc. I can't believe I got that one because I still haven't gotten the ebook arc yet, but I got the audiobook arc. Okay, and then next up, I did talk about most of those because those are most of my arcs. So this one, I am excited and both very nervous for this one that it's going to destroy me because The Bright Years was one of my favorite books that I read back in February, I believe, this year. It's like my second favorite book besides The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna. But that book probably made me cry the most out of any book that I read this year. I cried throughout the entirety of part 3 of that book. But Sarah Damoff's second book is coming out, and that is The Burning Side. And this one comes out May 19th. Okay, this one comes out May 19th as well. This one is about I believe, a divorced couple that lose their house, and their house burns down. And also, their names are April and Leo, and my sign is Leo, and April will just be passing, and it'll be May, so I feel like it's kind of perfect to read it then. Um, yeah, I'm really excited to read this one. I believe they're a divorced couple or just about to get to a divorce and now they have to like work through like losing their house. So, kind of sucks. Okay, and then there is a new Frida McFadden coming out in May as well. I don't know if I'm going to jump on this, but honestly, every single time Frida releases a new book, I end up just reading them because they're just so easy to read. I might not read this till like June though, but depends on if I'm going into Golden Sun and Morning Star because I might read this right before that to get ready to read Red Rising because again, I feel like it's going to emotionally destroy me. But anyway, this one is called The Divorce by Miss Frida. Um her synopsises always sound better than the actual execution of her books. But, I eat them up every time because, again, they're just so easy to binge. So this one says, what is a happily ever after really worth? Naomi was living the quintessential love story, boy meets girl. They fall in love, get married, buy a dream house, start a family. Then he kicks her out, hires the city's best divorce lawyers, drains their accounts, and takes up with a 20-something. It's a brutal end to the story. Naomi should accept defeat, move into a dingy apartment, get back into the workforce, and piece together the shattered remains of her life. Except why should she? Instead, Naomi fixates on her husband's new girlfriend. What begins as a cynical curiosity soon turns into a twisted obsession and then into something far darker. I'm actually excited for that one. I don't know, this one sounds really good, but again, like I always feel like I get fooled by her synopsises and that I don't always love the actual book. But why do I say I'm probably not going to read it when I know I'm probably going to? So, yeah. I'm just like bullshitting myself pretty much. And then the next one is actually a sequel, but honestly, I don't know why they're making a sequel to this. Why do they always have to make sequels to books that like blow up? I feel like it's just like pressure from the publishers, but Matt Haig is coming out with a new book in May, and he's one of my favorite authors. I think I've read 5 books by him at this point. I did read his latest release, which was The Life Impossible, but then he didn't have a new release last year because not everyone really loved Life Impossible. I really loved it. I didn't love it as his other books, but I still loved it because I still love his writing. But I've read The Radleys, Midnight Library, How to Stop Time, and Life Impossible, and then I just recently read The Humans back in March. Absolutely love The Humans. So I kind of wanted to read another one of his books before this book came out, and The Humans was the only other one that I own physically. And I actually lent it to my mom and she's loving it. But this is a sequel to The Midnight Library, and The Midnight Library for some reason is I mean, I'm so happy that it's his most popular book because it's an amazing book. But like people like don't know any other books by Matt Haig. I'm like his other books are so fucking good. I wish he got his flowers for his other books because Midnight Library is so fucking popular. And yes, it's a great book and it is going to become a movie. Who knows if this one's becoming a movie? I could have used it for that, but also I have no idea if it is. But anyway, the sequel is going to be The Midnight Train. And this one comes out May 26th as well. So there's quite a bit of books that come out the 26th. Um, and I am going to be reading this. So I am excited for it. I just don't know like how I feel about a sequel to this because again, I feel like, authors just want to milk like huge books at that point. I mean, yes, the author should get their flowers, but also like I don't know, I was kind of looking forward to like something completely different from Matt Haig because he writes like such different kind of books. So, The Midnight Library has 2.5 million ratings on Goodreads. And all of his other books have like 200,000, 100,000. Like I don't understand why nobody reads his other books when they're all amazing. His books are amazing. So, I don't know. But at least he blew up with that one. But like maybe he wants to be known for something else, but it's okay. So anyway, so that we only have 4 more to talk about. I don't know if I'm going to read any of these. Oh wait, I am going to read this one. I forgot that this one comes out May 5th as well. I might not read it till like a bit after though because I do want to read a couple of other books before the 12th. And that is the sequel to His Face is the Sun by Michelle Jabez Corpora, and this is the Throne of Katara series. I loved His Face is the Sun. I don't know why it doesn't get more hype, but it was such a fucking great fantasy book. So the sequel is coming out May 5th called She Knows All the Names. And also these books are freaking stunning. If I had more room, I would own both of them, but I did end up getting His Face is the Sun from Libby, so I just ended up reading it on there. I am so excited to read this. So I am highly anticipating this one as well because I absolutely love the first book as an Egyptian romantasy. So good. I'm so excited to read it. And then the next one is I don't even know if I'm going to read this either, but I believe this one comes out the 5th as well. Okay, so there are a couple that come out the 5th. So I'm going backwards now. And that is Stormbreaker by Nisha J. Tully. This one a couple of people are talking about. I don't know if I'm going to read it when it comes out, but this is the author of the Trial of the Sun Queen Artifice of Ornanos series. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. So they look like this. I've actually never read any of her books before. I was like, why does the author sound so familiar? But then meanwhile, I've never read any of her books because I've never read this series. I've heard like mixed reviews about it, but Warbreaker, I don't know. I'm excited for it. Let me read let me read the synopsis. It says, for 19-year-old Poet Graves, New Manhattan has always promised safety if she obeys. Raised within the ruling houses and betrothed to a powerful heir, she enters Amory Academy knowing her future has already been decided. But Amory is nothing like she imagined. Its trials are brutal, its loyalties conditional, and its rules designed to expose weakness. As Poet struggles to survive, she must hide the truth that could get her executed. The storms don't fear her, they answer back. When a dangerous outsider from beyond the city walls enters the academy, Poet is drawn to him despite everything she's been taught to believe. He threatens the life she's been promised, and choosing him could cost her not just her future but her freedom. It's a dystopian romance. Okay, sounds good, but not anything I'm like, oh my god, I need to read this. But I might read it. I might not. We'll see. And then we have two more. Again, 5 billion new releases. So this one is from one of my favorite authors. Oh, actually, never mind. Not this one yet. I forgot why I want to read this. I forgot who read this before. I think that this is her debut adult novel. I think. I don't know why I put this on my list, but it's called Homebound by Portia Alon. I'm not sure who talked about this, but it sounded like a cool concept. I believe it's a sci-fi. It comes out May 5th as well. Oh my god, there's so many books that come out May 5th. This one says 5 interlocking lives, one beloved story, a dazzling adventure across centuries and continents in search of the things that hold us together. In 1983, and Bex It's 1983, and Bex can't wait to get the hell out of Cincinnati. She's 19, blasting her Walkman, and hiding from the fact that her beloved uncle, the only person who understood her, is dead. But she has work to do. He left her a half-finished game to complete. Oh, okay. Oh, I don't remember who said that this was like kind of like Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow-esque, like a little bit more video gamey. It says one last collaboration to find her way out of loneliness. Little does she know, what Bex is making will echo far into the future and shape the lives of a scientist, a sentient automaton, and a flinty sea captain in ways she cannot imagine. All are bound together by their search for connection, and by a futuristic traveler on a mysterious mission through space. It does sound fun. It sounds like a fun time. And then the last one, I can't believe we're on the last one. I didn't think we were going to make it there. It's from one of my favorite authors. Even though I've only read one of his books, I'm so excited to read this. Or who knows if I'm going to read it this month, but this one comes out May 19th. And technically, I guess this could have leaves on the cover, but that is Take Me With You by Stephen Rowley. This one comes out May 19th as well. Not sure if I'm going to read it this month or not. We'll see. I mean, I'm going to be reading most of the May releases that I mentioned. And, you know, the 6 or 7 books that I put on my TBR from my proms. This one says appointed... Oh, sorry. But this is the author of The Guncle, actually. And The Guncle is a 6-star read for me. I absolutely freaking adore it. And, me and Felicia are going to be buddy reading the second one, I believe in June or July. So that this one says college professor Jesse Del Ruth has been abandoned. 30 years into their relationship, Jesse witnesses his husband Norman get out of bed late one night, walk into their Joshua Tree backyard, step into a strange beam of light, and disappear. How could Norman desert him after a lifetime together? Where did he go? And most confoundingly, will he ever return? Jesse knew they were longing for something, both feeling stuck. But had Norman been so stuck that his only option was to leave Jesse behind? As Jesse struggles to understand Norman's disappearance, he tries to piece together his new reality. Is he expected to wait patiently for a partner who may never come back, or is this an opportunity for reinvention? Okay, I'm excited for that one. I'm not going to read the whole synopsis. It's too long. But that is it. That is it for this video. That kind of sounds like maybe he was abducted by aliens. Like, I don't know, it's gonna be kind of more like TJ Klune kind of style. I'm also gonna read TJ Klune's new book very soon because it comes out literally today. I'm not sure if I'm gonna read it next though, or another book that I haven't read yet that came out a couple days ago. But we only have 4 days left in the. Oh no, it's coming out today. It comes out tomorrow. Why am I thinking today's 28th? It's 27th, and it says it right on my computer. But We Burn So Bright, I really do want to read that too. Depending on if I finish my book tonight, because I've been reading the same book for like 2 days now, which is This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me. I've been loving it. But yeah, I'm just too tired. I've talked enough. So yeah, let me know if any of these new releases are on your TBR and what's on your TBR for May. Please like and subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram at SVW809 and check out my Goodreads and my TikTok listed in the description box below. And I hope you guys have a great day and keep reading. And also, I'm proud of myself that I fit all the prompts to all the books that were on my TBR currently that I own, that are books that I own physically. That was actually pretty easy to fit the prompts to those books. So I'm very proud of myself for that. So I hope you guys have a great day and bye.
Okay, so hey guys, so we have 4 more books to talk about to add to the May TBR. I think what I'm going to do is that I think I'm just going to read the first book in the Farseer trilogy. If I decide to move on, then I might not read one of these books that I'm putting on the TBR. But 2 of these books I know are going to get read in May. The first one is Bloodbound by Ellis Hunter. I wanted to read this in April, and it's like the second to last day of April right now, but I still don't have the audiobook for this, and I'm waiting for the audiobook from Libby. But I'm going to read this regardless. And also, this book is just so beautiful with the edges. I don't think I showed it on my channel. I didn't turn the light on either because we just live in darkness, obviously. Because, like, this light is just so bright. So, that's a little better, right? So, look at these end papers. Like, are you freaking kidding me? And it has a reversible dust jacket. But these edges are just so fucking pretty. But I did talk about it in my April TBR. I just didn't have time to get to it. It did come out yesterday. And I wanted to read it after I'm reading a book right now, but I feel like I am slumping a little bit. And it's like the fact that I was keeping my momentum up in April because I DNF'd a book I wasn't feeling. I don't know if it's because I'm just not in a romance mood right now, because the book that I'm reading right now, The Paris Match, I'm actually reading it now. So I'm taking this off of the May TBR because I'm obviously reading it now, and I'm already, because I thought I was in the mood for this, but I'm 239 pages into this, so I'm basically halfway through. I've mostly just been listening to the audiobook, but tell me why I don't really care about this book. I'm just like, I don't know. It might be just because I'm in a romance slump, because I did just read a romance though. But I was really in the mood to read this, but I'm not really loving it. I think the main male character is kind of mean to the female main character, and I feel like this is already a little bit too long for what it needs to be, because it's like 440 pages. But I'm gonna finish it, but like, I feel like I'm falling into a slump. So I don't think I'm going to read fantasy or romance. I think I'm going to change it up and read my book club pick in May, which is, well, the first book that I read in May. I think it's going to be Best Offer Wins by Marissa Kishino because it's so short. I think I might just need to switch up genres right now because I just read a fantasy and I just read a romance and another fantasy and like a cozy fantasy romance. So I'm like, maybe I need to take a break from romance and fantasy right now. But I'm going to read this soon, or as soon as I get the audiobook, I do want to read this. And then for the leaves on the cover prompt, I'm going to swap it out with The Honey Witch by Cindy L. Shields because, like I said before, because this was The Paris Match is the one that I picked for this one. But this one has so many more leaves on the cover, and I've been wanting to read this book for forever. I've had this for almost 2 years, and I think my sign and my push to read this was literally early. I mean, I was already going to put this on the May TBR anyway because I've been thinking about reading this, but her new book just came out. It's like a dark academia kind of book. And I was so tempted to pick it up, and I'm like, I need to stop picking up their new releases without reading their older ones. Like, I have Once and Future Witches by Alex E. Harrow, but I read The Everlasting, and that's the only book that I've read by Alex E. Harrow, but I haven't read Once and Future Witches yet. And the same thing with this, I haven't read The Honey Witch, but I wanted to read her new release, and it's like, why don't I read her new release first? I mean, the one that I own by her first. And I did the same thing with Sue Lynn Tan with Never Ever After, which came out last November, but I still haven't read Daughter of the Moon Goddess and Heart of the Sun Warrior, which I really want to read this month as well. So I think I'm going to read this and those two books. And then, like I said, I think I'm going to just read the first book of The Assassin's Apprentice because I might just finish it in June. As long as I start it in May, as long as I start the first book, because Mike in Bookstagram was like, oh, I thought you just meant the first book. Because I was like, I think I'm going to read the entire trilogy. And he's like, but they're heavy books. He's like, how can you read the entire trilogy in 1 month? But like I said, there is a read-along happening in May for the entire Rights of the Realms of the Starling universe. But I am just going to read that trilogy because that's the only one that I own. And then I can finally read 2 series that have been on my TBR for a while. And then if I read the first arc of Red Rising in June, then I'll feel good about the series, you know, because I'll actually read 3 that I've been putting off for forever. So I think that's a good start. And then I do have a new release that I know I'm going to be reading in May, but they had this like a week before it comes out. I think they did this last year with the first book. And that is She Knows All the Names by Michelle Jabez Corpora. This is the second book to His Face is the Sun. I absolutely love the first book, so I'm really excited to read the second book. And this one comes out the same day as Fury Bound and Our Perfect Storm, but like I said, my Barnes had it a little early. I don't know why this book doesn't get more hype. The first book got such good reviews on TikTok and Goodreads. I'm like, more people need to read this because it's so fucking good. So I'm really excited to read the second one. And then this one I think I'm going to add too because I want to read at least one of the new releases that I just picked up. And this one just sounds too good to not read in May. And that is City of Iron and Ivy by Thomas Kent West. This one is a dark historical romantasy that blends dark academia with the glamour of Bridgerton, and as a scholar of magic investigates her sister's murder. So I just thought this sounded so good, and since it's a male author writing dark romantasy, like historical dark romantasy, I was really curious about this one because we don't have enough male authors that write romantasy, so I'm kind of really curious about it. So it's a chonker, but this does have an audiobook, so I think I'm going to read it because I am going to return Best Offer Wins after I read this because I can get it from the library, and also, like, I don't need to keep this. I just want to read the physical book while I have it, and also it is in another vlog that I kind of need to read the physical book, and I feel like this book is going to take, like, no time. I don't know if I might just be in a physical book slump right now, though, because all I want to do is read on my Kindle. So honestly, I might just Kindle read this and return the physical book because I'm not going to keep it. But I was just going to keep it for the sake of updating with the physical book in the vlog that I was reading this in, but I feel like that's just kind of stupid. But that was a whole, like, you know, TBR kind of themed, like, physical TBR video. And this would be one of them, but also I'm going to be getting it off my TBR anyway because I'm not going to keep this book. But this is our book club pick, so I'm still going to read this book regardless. And then I think after Best Offer Wins, I think I'm going to read Yesteryear because I just got the audiobook for that. And I feel like I just need to switch up my genres right now. And I feel like I just need something that's going to grip me because I don't think I can read fantasy or romance right now because I'm not really in the mood for either of them. So I think I'm going to read those two. And then I think I'm going to read Bloodbound after that if I get the audiobook for it, and then I think I'm going to read Our Perfect Storm
And then I'll read Daughter of the Moon Goddess like later in the month, because since now I'm like just reading the first book in the Farseer trilogy, I don't have to put like so much pressure on myself to try and read all these other books, and then I can add this and the Honey Witch and I won't feel like ridiculously overwhelmed. So now this is truly goodbye, but I knew that my May TBR was going to be so packed out with books, but I did just make some changes to it and I didn't want to post it until I made the changes. So yeah. Bye.